to Singapore. And then after that, you've got places like Calcutta, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Pune, Coimbatore, Trichy. So these are the next set of, South India is a very, very important region. But in the rank order, the key cities are Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore. And then after that, you've got Trichy, Coimbatore, Hyderabad as well.
So you said
To answer that, so what your question is, how is a cruise holiday? How is it for the Indian travelers, right?
Can you all hear me? Yeah. Anyway, good afternoon. Sorry I was late. My name is Siting. I'm Area Director for Mumbai. So I think interesting question that you brought up here. Cruise is something that we've always been trying to kind of promote in India. Singapore is one of those countries where we actually welcome a lot of Indians to Singapore for the cruise sailing. So cruise remains number one for us from India in terms of cruise passengers. So I think from us, what we're trying to do actively out here, doing all these trade road shows, doing all these product update, destination update, is for the purpose of raising the awareness of the cruise products. So we have 4 ships home ported in Singapore. We have Genting, we have RCI, we have Costa, we also have Princess cruise ships. So, and these are the more popular ones that Indians are usually taking when they fly to Singapore and then they take the cruise out, and which they can then go to all the neighboring countries around Malaysia, Thailand as well. So I think pertaining to your question in terms of how cruise, it is an important aspect for us, right? And I think for us, the key priority is to get people on board and people to be interested in going for cruise holidays. So I think for STB, how we're supporting this is we have a scheme called Cruise Development for Media Friends to also help us promote, in your news article to say that, STB is aggressively going out there to get cruise agents or agents selling cruise products. We are supporting them through marketing dollars. So they can get support of up to 50% of the marketing qualifying cost. So in terms of whether they're doing trade shows, they're doing trainings, they're doing, say, your media buy ads for cruise products, as long as they've included 2 nights stay in Singapore, they're eligible for this cruise development fund. And I think that's what STB's role in facilitating some of all these cruise traffic to Singapore will be.
Taking your first working Monday of 2020 to join us here today. So we are really glad to be here in Chennai to share the Sentosa story. I think many of you would be familiar with Sentosa. We offer myriads of offerings in Sentosa. As you can see from the slide on the screen, besides the attractions that we have on the island, some of it I'm sure will be familiar to you. Things like Madame Tussauds, which Shrita mentioned earlier. We have Skyline Luge, also very popular, and Wings of Time, a night show which is extremely popular with our Indian tourists. We have also a lineup of events around the year. I think Shrita touched on that. Singapore has a series of events running throughout the year. We just concluded our 13th edition of Siloso Beach Party. It is a dusk to dawn party, so it starts at 6 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. in the morning. It is the only beach countdown party in Singapore. So it's been very popular over the past decade or so. So if you have the opportunity, I would encourage you to go and spend your New Year's Eve in Singapore. You can dance all the way from the evening to the next morning. And we receive 19 million visitors in Sentosa. This is both locals and tourists. And I must add that the Indian tourist is our biggest source market for Sentosa. So out of the 19 million, a good component of them are tourists. The Indian tourist is our biggest, contributes the biggest number to Sentosa. We, and we believe this has been also been corroborated by the awards that we have won, which are awards that have been given out by our voted on by our travel partners. We have won the Trip Sailor Award 3 years in a row, the Travel Weekly Choice Destination Award 2 years in a row, and for people who golf here, we have just been awarded the world's best golf club. So Sentosa Golf Club, which is on Sentosa Island, has been awarded the world's best golf club. But I will now show, my colleagues will now show you a destination video of what we have on Sentosa. In marketing Sentosa to the Indian market. Besides working with travel agents, Shrita mentioned earlier, we are concurrently having a roadshow at Touch, at the other Touch, where we have a good turnout of travel agents who work with us to market Sentosa. Besides that, we work with even airlines, banks, and telcos to market Sentosa. For the travel agents, last year we signed a strategic agreement with Thomas Cook, and we did a great Indian sale for Sentosa last year. And when Vistara launched their first flight to Singapore, we gave out 2,500 what we call token fun pass, free token fun pass for tourists from India to visit Sentosa. MICE, which Shrita mentioned earlier too, we work together with the Singapore Tourism Board to promote MICE Sentosa. It is an important segment for Sentosa. We are not good for big exhibitions because we don't have the space. But what we do very well is things like incentive tours. So last year, we welcomed, in fact this is now 2018, December 2018, slightly more than a year ago, we welcomed the MWare group from India. This is the first time they've done it in Singapore, and we welcomed 4,500 delegates from India in Sentosa. We together with our partners on the island, curated a program that's suitable for the whole family. They went to places like Kidzania, which is a key kids edutainment area. They have also done, of course, the older kids went to Universal Studios, and we also had a women's run in the morning on Sentosa. Now moving on to exciting developments on Sentosa. Shrita mentioned the Great Southern Waterfront. Our Prime Minister announced this at the National Day rally last year. Center of this whole Greater Southern Waterfront is obviously Sentosa, and what we are very excited about is the addition of Brani, which is currently a port adjacent to Sentosa. So the two islands will be integrated to create the new Sentosa. So this development that will see the transformation of Sentosa over the next couple of decades will make Sentosa a much more vibrant and exciting destination. We will bring day to night kind of attractions. We will be bringing on a couple more world-class attractions, and we will obviously make this and the approach for us to develop this whole thing will be done sustainably. So we hope to be able to achieve this vision of a city in a garden, and where people go to live, work, and play. We will now show you a video of how Sentosa and Brani will be transformed over the next couple of decades.